Here we are, hitting up events, drinking our way through Chicago beer, and trying not to miss a thing.
Yeah, because, got a cork popped out, boom, it flies like fucking 10 feet. We're like, yeah, let's do it.
All you have to do is add some fruit, stir it up, and ride that milk-shaped wave.
Whenever I see him, I gotta take a photo with the most decorated brewer in Chicago, Jonathan Cutler.
It'll be like the stuff you hear. You ever go to, every time you go to Floyd's, all the music sounds like this. Raw, raw, raw.
Sometimes you want a small beer, but really, you want a big beer.
You gotta take in all those big aromatic hops.
Hey, what are you doing this weekend? Waiting in line for a bottle release?
You should have never been a fad. The black IPA is delicious.
Hey, and welcome to Chicago Beer Pass. I'm Brad Chmielewski,
Brad, what's up, man? I'm Nik White.
and I have a lot of episodes to get out.
What the fuck, Brad?
I am slacking. There's still one coming out a week, but we are recording them like quicker than I can get them out now.
Okay.
I just gotta dump them all out for the people.
Well, we go as far as you take us, man. So that's that.
And I said, I think on the last episode that we're 10 years in of Chicago Beer Pass.
Can you believe that, man? Cheers to us.
Cheers to
I'll
us.
drink to that,
We did it. We've made it as long as Temperance.
Every week I look across the table, I see Brad, we drink, and I'm a happy guy,
Yeah. This week we've got some Metropolitan Afterburner. It's their Oktoberfest. We were at their event this past weekend. We'll get into it in a bit, but I tried to pick up Maplewood cans. We'll get into that too. They didn't have that, so here we are drinking this.
Yeah, smooth and toasty and festive. Oktoberfest is one of the best beers in the world.
And last year, I don't know if we drank this on an episode, but we drank it in our lineup, and we used Afterburner as our
Control beer?
our
Base?
top ranking. Be like, it had to be as good or better than Afterburner. I don't think anything got there. Maybe the Hopewell was above it.
Yeah, it was. It's typically an exemplary. Well, you can't say exemplary example. It's the definitive version in most cases locally.
Right. And right now, we were just talking in the pre-show. We're not loving it as much as we have in the past, especially these cans, because we had it at their event. It was great on tap.
Fucking half liters for everybody, right? That's
Yeah.
why we started.
And so something, it could be right now how we're feeling, could be what we ate for dinner or lunch, and just feeling like a little more malty biscuity than I maybe want.
I think that's fair. There's no ABV on here, which is kind of a surprise. But I guess 5 to 6 or something.
Yeah.
But ABV would be nice, right?
It's still a great beer.
Because I remember Haymarket one year had an Oktoberfest, and it was 7.2%. And I remember this because I'm like, 7.2 is a lot.
Yeah.
It's pretty big. This was back in the back when Festival was, the fancy and everybody went kind of thing.
Yeah.
7.2. So I'm just curious what the ABV is. Oh, but yeah, like what you're saying. A lot of times you drink it and you don't think about it. We say that a lot about these beers. You just kind of appreciate, the toasty, malty goodness, but then it kind of finishes clean, And this has more of a linger, if you will, of the sweetness. There's more of a sweetness linger than you remember. Yeah.
I don't know why it's doing that to me today, because...
It didn't do that Saturday.
No.
No.
But anyway, we're still going to enjoy this. We'll have some cans left as we do our full lineup, so we'll see. Maybe this is right, and when we do the lineup, we're like, this is the best example of it, and we're this Alarmist one. It's called the worst October because it's the worst. And I don't have the Alarmist up here,
That's funny. I was looking at the BJCP definitions for Oktoberfest because Oktoberfest and Vienna Lager are very similar, even when you read them. But they were saying this is about Alarmist because we were saying the Alarmist beer was really hoppy and it reminded us of like a red ale.
Yeah.
And I think just reading the descriptions, it's like the Vienna Lager is supposed to have a lingering hop bite.
Okay.
versus the Oktoberfest where it should not, if you're according to them. So what we tasted was more of a Vienna lager.
Oh, from Alarmist?
Yeah.
Okay, I guess that let's get into this because we actually have a lot to talk about. We got 5 to 7 breweries we hit up. We got a rumor that we heard and the Great American Beer Fest Awards.
That's right.
That happened.
That's right.
So Friday, we kicked things off with a 10-year Temperance and their Oktoberfest.
Evanston, Illinois. It was our first stop. It was going to be the pregame, if you will, to the romp down to Old Fulton.
Right, and they had food cooking. They had some banners up,
Some fella in the back slanging hot sauce.
which is weird for an Oktoberfest event, but I guess okay for your 10-year party. This felt like we should have a party, guy. Like, let's get this together. Come on. And someone's like, well, let's just put 2 together. We don't have time to plan 2 parties. Let's just say 10-year / Oktoberfest because it's your 10-year. That should be an event.
Or just don't tell us it's a 10-year party. It should be one of the 2.
10 years is huge, right?
10 years is a milestone. And let's start. Congratulations to those guys. Because I do like that Barrel Age series, Mike Meeks Right. I do like Gatecrasher.
Basement party.
Oh, Basement Party. Yeah. Fucking.
One of the best beers in Chicago land.
It's no joke. It's really fucking good. Yeah, so I like those guys. But you tell us as a party, it should be a party, right? So my man, selling the hot sauce in the back and the guy cooking, it just kind of felt like a incidental thing. It didn't feel very intentional. It didn't
Well, like a normal weekend at Temperance.
Right. I mean, like first of all, Oktoberfest itself is a bash. If nothing else is going on,
Yeah.
if you release an Oktoberfest, you should have a bash.
Sure, we were there early evening, so maybe it got crazy, but you started at noon. Mm-hmm. Your doors opened at noon.
Yeah.
You should have, I don't know, the guy puts the tuba thing that the Oktoberfest.
I can't think of the name of the band.
But you can
but
picture
right.
a Oompa band.
Yeah, and they're going nuts. There's like French horns. There's tubas.
Yeah.
There's like 10 of them, and they're dressed and they're getting busy.
Yeah.
Marching through the crowd, all kinds of shit.
Where is that?
Especially coming from fucking Temperance because they have this massive space where they throw these concerts. I was telling Brad on the way up, like, man, I've seen fucking KRS-One here. I've seen Slick Rick here. I've seen some really cool parties here. So this was kind of a surprise that it wasn't. I kind of felt like they just tapped a beer, and it did not feel like a party at all. So
And then, so that was our first impression of this. And then, in order to get the Stein,
right,
which they had very nice Stein.
it was most Steins are dimpled, like the Metro one we're drinking out of. Theirs had a design where it was kind of
rope.
Yeah, it kind of felt like really giant rope design around. It was a good looking Stein.
It looked good. But in order to even drink out of the Stein, you had to buy the Stein.
You got to commit to buying the whole damn Stein.
Which was like another $12, I think.
Might be 14.
14, so it was like probably like $20.
Oh yeah, because you got to fill it.
Yeah, for the fill and the Stein. Maybe 22. I liked it enough that I wanted a picture with it, but I didn't like it enough to own another Stein.
Yeah, guys like us, we're going, to try the beer and to check in. But let's be honest, it's Oktoberfest. We're going to drink out of Steins, right? I mean,
Or a boot.
or a boot.
I'd take a boot.
I'll take a boot. We should have said that when they told us we can't have the Stein, because they flat out told us you got to buy the Stein. You can't drink out of the Stein. We should have asked them. Well, okay, that's cool. We'll take a boot. That should have been that should have been our rebuttal.
They basically said they were worried they'd run out. And like, we're going to have this one and give it back to you.
Yeah, you'll be fine. So your mug club won't miss it. Fucking hit it with the washer that's got the 3 things and let's go.
Yeah.
We'll be done.
You're going to have leftover Steins because people aren't going to buy all these Steins.
Yeah, and maybe that's part of the thing too. They didn't want to buy all these Steins, so they had a very small amount of Steins.
Yeah, Metro, they're good. They got Steins all year round.
Different, whole different animal, whole different animal
Yeah.
there.
But the beer, good. Picked up some cans. Have some cans, I think in the fridge or in my backpack or whatever. So we'll dive into those at some point. It was solid. Then we were looking at the map. We were going to go from Evanston to Goose Island, Fulton.
Yeah. So Chicago Brewing District.
We look at the map, 5 hours.
It's legit fucking every bit of like 56 minutes in this
Right.
joint. And we're like, whoa,
That's a little far.
that's a bit much.
Do we have a stop?
How do we subsidize this route here? How do we break this up?
Rather than looking really somewhere in the middle, we went with the closest stop, Alarmist.
So we're in our mind, we're like, well, it gets us a little bit south, not much south. At least it gets us to the highway.
But I was only stopping if they had an Oktoberfest. Because if they didn't have Oktoberfest, we weren't going to go.
True.
And this was the first year they did Oktoberfest. They called it the worst fest. And like Nick was saying, it was more of Vienna lager than Oktoberfest.
It was good beer. It had a very noticeable hop finish,
Yeah.
which was pleasant. Just not what you usually, not when we drink them all in a row like this, it's not something that you find in most of them.
Right. It's going to stand out when we put in the lineup.
Yeah.
No mugs.
No, I think
So we're 2-0 or 0-2 on the mugs.
We're 0 for 2 on the mugs. Here we are, Oktoberfest weekend, drinking 2 Oktoberfests. No mugs. I think they kind of said, hey, and they didn't make a big deal out of it. They're like, yeah, we tapped the beer. The mugs would have been here with a day advance, and we didn't want to risk it. So,
Right.
because if you got the mugs, you're going to blow it out and tell people to come. And then what if the mugs don't show up a day?
Yeah, because we got to talk to Gary Gully our whole time at Alarmist. So
Super fun, by the way. He's a very likable guy.
yeah,
Yeah.
we got a lot of what is happening over there. They now have a new brewer. They got rid of the person from New Belgium. She just wasn't working out for them. Seems like they've got things going in the right direction now.
Yeah, and we also understood the science of awards, if you will, right? Because my impression as a consumer is that people who win awards, most people don't care about awards. They're coming to these places. They're going because they want to go.
Yeah.
They don't give a fuck if you won awards or not. But then I think if you're selling beer and you're working with a distributor, I think that can be a needle mover for you as a producer. If you got this award, now you have more priority in this catalog of beers.
Right, they know this is a good beer that's probably going to sell.
Yeah, yeah. So everybody's getting behind it, probably a little bit with a little bit more aggression. That's what it sounds like. So, yeah. So that's something interesting. I hadn't really thought about it like that.
Right.
I'm like, oh,
So we were also one and done there. And then, we could have probably stopped somewhere else, but we bit the bullet and made it to Goose Island, Fulton.
Yeah, stop
312 block party.
yeah. This is their big party. This is their largest annual party.
Yeah.
This is the block party.
Last year we rolled up. First beer, I think, was Oktoberfest from On Tour.
Yeah.
Disappointment.
Nobody liked it.
Yeah. This time I roll up. First beer I get, Green Line.
You got the green light?
I got the Green Line.
Okay.
I was like, I hadn't had a Green Line in a long time.
Environmentally friendly. I think that was the push.
That was a push. I don't know
Yeah,
what it is.
but now I think I don't know what the deal is. I think the first beer I got was a Paloma Saison
Oh, okay.
with like tequila or something.
Right.
It was 8.3. It was a little much. I should have got something smaller. It was pretty big.
Well, that because we did a few laps and then we went into the pub where Bourbon County was triple Bourbon County.
Bourbon County flowed out of this joint. They got the lines, the velvet ropes. They got the bucket where you throw your fucking token. There's a guy on a megaphone and instructing you where to go.
Get your beer and get out.
Right. There's, I don't know, I would say at least 4 or 5 people behind the bar, different stations with your little cup of BCS already there. And it's the vault. I think they're doing what? I would say 6 at a time. And every hour it changes, something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Did we both get? We think we both got 2. I grabbed triple and Jungle Bird.
Yeah, so 2022 prop. And I think I grabbed, I definitely grabbed vanilla. And I think I grabbed,
You got the anus, the anise
Oh,
one.
I got biscotti.
This
Fucking
motherfucker was like,
Sambuca.
I think it's good.
I think
it's good.
I think it might be good. I don't know. It's at some point.
I was walking out. He's like taking his head and be like, shouldn't have done it.
At some point, this anise has to fall out of this biscotti. You would think, right?
Waiting for the ass to drop.
It's been a year of too much fucking anise in this beer. I'm like, you know what? I think today's the day. I drink this beer and it is every bit of the same amount of anise when I had it. It is still Sambuca. And I'm like, God damn, I was rooting for you, man.
Jungle Bird one, nice.
Yeah.
Not as like falling in love as when I first had it, and then Triple was just too big.
Yeah, Triple I think sounded better on paper.
Yeah, I had to get it though because I've never seen Triple.
It's 18.8%, very sharp edges, lots of heavy oak, right? And some bitterness. You know what I liked about the Jungle Bird, man? It's starting to age nicely. It almost kind of rounds into more sweet chocolate, kind of coconutty a little bit.
Yeah.
Like that's still tropical, but in a different way. Yeah, I still liked it. I thought the vanilla was good.
And then you went back in and got another one too.
I think biscotti was my second round.
Oh.
So I think I got vanilla and something else, and I'm drawing a blank on what it was.
Okay.
You know what was really good though that you pointed me in the direction of?
The Pilsner.
Yeah, the Pocket Pills.
Yeah.
Pocket Pills was good, man.
That was coming in cans, and then I got a pour of Goose Island's Oktoberfest. Fine.
It was fine.
But we did hear while we were wandering around there that Great Central might be gone, like selling. I was a little unclear of like what the wording that we were told to us.
Definitely some turmoil.
Yeah.
Like that might cease. It might cease operations. Is what it sounded like. Yeah. Writings on the wall. We talk about it a lot. A lot of breweries, namely Sketchbook and Old Irving, decided they'd rather build second breweries than to deal with them. And things don't really sound very promising over there. So
right.
I wonder what the deal is.
So you may hear something about Great Central closing or changing hands, maybe. It's a big brewery if Maplewood's the main person making beer there, it could just be Maplewood taking it over.
Oh, yeah, right. That's actually a good point. It might become the Maplewood Brewery. I hadn't thought about that.
And they contract out some of the other stuff then?
For sure, right? Because it's a really cool space. Unless there's something like fundamentally wrong with like machinery in there, this is kind of on paper like the dream location.
Right.
Size and actual location. It sounds kind of perfect for what they do. But yeah, you're right, man. Fucking pilot project contract brews now on a massive scale up in Milwaukee. Even Brickstone and Distill down in Normal, they both contract brew now.
Okay.
So, I mean, there's other players in the space if they don't.
Church Street.
Yeah. See. Oh yeah, we forgot about Church Street, right on the other side of the airport. There's other players in town, man. There's other players pretty close that can do the thing if Great Central's gonna fumble it.
Right.
So that's too bad.
Yeah. Good little 3-1-2 event. They had food trucks. They had the beer hugs area set up again that was way less like cool. I feel like 2022 was the big beer hugs push.
Yeah.
And the 2023 is like, that might not have worked out. They got a lot of people drinking beer hugs, but they may not have gotten a lot of people drinking other Goose or AB beers.
Yeah, they ran it back. It was like the exact same setup as before. I noticed that the 312 phone booths there, which were cool, but they didn't have any phones in them.
Right.
And we noticed there was no phones because there was an empty space where the phone would go.
They should have phones and then had them hooked up so you could talk to, like if you picked it up, you could talk to one of the other booths.
Oh, for sure. And now you got some cool images of you making an old school payphone call.
Right. Because without the phones, 312, the tap handle is a phone.
Yeah.
Does anyone who's 25 and under even know that?
It's just 312 at that
Anyone
point.
who's 30 and under know that
Oh, that there were payphones and
there are payphones, that the 312 area code is a thing.
and that was Chicago's only area code at one point.
Right.
All of Chicago was 312. Yeah.
I don't know if they know.
I don't think so either. Yeah.
So I think having the phones could have been a nice touch, especially if you had the tap handle phone, so it looked like it and everything.
I think so too. Yeah. The bands were there. The weather was perfect. Yeah, and they pull out a lot of beers, just like you would expect. It's a good vibe because it takes up pretty much two whole city blocks. The block that they're on, Fulton and Wood, and then whatever the next block is, where Old Irving and Great Central are.
Yeah.
So 2 full blocks of action, 2 totally different vibes because there's DJ on one, bands on the other. It's a good hang, man.
Yeah.
It's a good hang.
It's a solid Friday. Saturday rolls around. I have my list in front of me. There was hope to go to Lux Carnival. Illuminate its 2nd anniversary in that space.
Oh, at the lodge. Yeah.
We didn't make it.
Nah. You know.
Some days you're like, Norwood Park seems close, and some days you're like, Norwood Park might as well be scratch.
There's a group I'm in on Facebook. Some days you get the beer, some days the beer gets you.
Oh.
So sometimes you're just like, it sounds like a good idea until it's time to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we decided to hit up the Brewers Triangle Oktoberfest events.
Yeah.
I rolled up on the scooter in my lederhosen.
Yeah. Brad is lederhosen down everything. The socks, the fucking hat. This is a good look. You're
Right.
committed.
I looked pretty great riding the scooter down the street.
It's like, if I do say so myself, I am killing this whole scooter lederhosen combo. Yeah, and it was good too because I rode my bike, so I show up. I don't know, 5-10 minutes after Brad, and this place is completely packed. And the only reason I know it's Brad's because he's rocking the lederhosen, so I could spot him from across the room. I'm like, oh, Brad's at the register.
I was a little disappointed because Doug, last year we went to this. Doug was like on point with his lederhosen.
Yeah.
This year, he like phoned it in.
A little subdued, huh?
Yeah. Maybe he was going hard on Friday, but Saturday would be your big day.
Yeah, maybe
He spilt some like
accident, maybe.
spilt a sausage on there, and he's like,
You can't walk around with the stains.
Yeah.
I got the soft leather fucking straps, and now they're stained.
I had to get it to the dry cleaner. They didn't have it in time. I don't know what happened.
Right.
But we hung around there for a little bit. It was crazy packed. Had their Oktoberfest half liter, and then I told Nick I had saw that there was a coffee version called the Morning Afterburner.
Yeah, which is a great name. It's the Oktoberfest on Nitro with coffee.
Everything sounds good about this. The name sounds great.
Yeah.
Coffee, Afterburner.
And it's also a good looking beer too. You know, with the tight foam head
It
and
was
the
a little darker.
little cascading effect. It looks good. Everything's ready.
But
So I got a 6-ounce pour.
looks, paper was better than taste.
Yeah, I was more on board with the OG Oktoberfest. But I think that's Metro's thing for this party though, because they're selling so much beer and they want to offer some variety. But they had like a basic bitch one. That's what Lori and Heather were saying, which is I think like pumpkin spices, right? I think so.
Oh, that might have been inside.
It was inside. Yeah, it was like a spiced version. So they had different versions of Oktoberfest.
Oh, see, I should have tried that. I was a little disappointed because we were going to the other spots. They had a Maplewood beer on, they probably had Charlton on, or I'm with our IPAs, and they had Ravinia's other one on.
Probably Diversity Pale or something.
Yeah, why not just have everyone's Oktoberfest at the Oktoberfest event?
For that day, I think you're right. We know you're the Triangle, and we know you have other brewers on.
Right.
But for this party, have some of their Oktoberfest on.
I'm not there to drink the IPA. I came to Metro for the lagers. Oh, there happens to be another lager. Let's see how it compares versus I guess I'll try this IPA now and
That's a good point.
get out of my flow.
Yeah. On the flip side of that, if you drink it there, are you then going to the other two? Because they want you to walk to all three.
Right, you may not. But we walked to Ravinia.
We did.
They wouldn't let us in.
Right. Super easy walk, by the way. I had never walked it.
Yeah.
I was concerned. I want to say like 2 blocks, right? 2.5 blocks?
Right.
Easy.
And because last year we rode our bikes from Metro to Ravinia, which is a little harder because I think we went down Elston and came back around Diversey. So, but you can just walk like straight shot, kind of.
Yeah, one of these side streets. I think it's down Maplewood.
They were like, it's after 5. We're shutting down. Someone booked our space.
Yeah, because they have like the big food truck out there. I think they're gonna like, I don't know, roast something or whatever.
No, they already did that.
Oh, they did it. Oh, so we were watching them take it down.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we got there and the door was locked and there were folks in and we're just like, well, what's going on? So we got there, like you said, after 5, it became a private party.
Right. And I feel like that was a mistake because you have this brewers trying. People are walking.
We saw a
back
lot of
and
folks
forth.
that clearly looked like they were coming from a brewery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I understand your inside is closed for a private party. Keep the outside going. Pour beer.
They got it upstairs. Put the party upstairs.
Yeah.
Or put the Oktoberfest up. Well, if there's only one route upstairs, that means
Right.
the party's got to be
But yeah,
upstairs.
keep going in the parking lot. You have that parking lot.
There's probably no bathrooms upstairs.
You could have left the porta potty outside and just had beer pouring.
If the inside, let's just say all of the inside is spoken for this party, yeah, they got a giant lot. I've been in parties in that lot.
Yeah. Or just have one little garage door open and someone's like, we're just doing Oktoberfest, plastic cup, parking lot kind of thing. We're closed inside right now. This is all we got.
Yeah.
We don't even have a bathroom.
Give us a smaller version of the triangle thing so people can complete the triangle.
Right.
Yeah.
Because now we couldn't have the Ravinia's Oktoberfest, even though it's not that far. I'm not likely to go there now. That was my chance
Yeah.
to get their Oktoberfest.
Yeah.
So that was a fail.
So for those keeping score at home, this would be the 4th brewery. We drank at 3, and out of the 3, we only had
One Stein.
We only had 1 Stein.
All right. So then we're off to Maplewood. The pig had already been roasted, so the pig head was just chilling out there.
Yeah. Had shades on, had a hat on.
Yeah, they ran out of their draft Oktoberfest.
Is that what it was?
This is what I think happened because, which Ravinia, listen, Maplewood ran out of Oktoberfest. Then they're giving everyone Oktoberfest in cans.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, well, we're about to leave. Can I get a 4-pack of cans? They're like, no, we sold. We're out. They literally sold all the draft Oktoberfest they had
Wow.
and all the cans. Ravinia, you closed. How much money did you get from these people renting that space?
Yeah, that's true.
No way.
That's true.
On an event like that where Maplewood was out of Oktoberfest,
And we don't know the details, but from a distance, you might have been better off just giving them their deposit back, plus some, and you still made out.
because then we got another beer at Maplewood. That money should have went to Ravinia because we were going to do a beer at every one. No.
It's an interesting decision from Ravinia. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that it went down that way. Mm-hmm. But good for Maplewood. They sold all their Oktoberfest.
And they had just everyone in the street.
Yeah. This kind of felt like a hang at, I don't know. We're literally all just kind of drinking along the train in the alley.
Yeah.
It just kind of felt like a very chill fucking summer night, you know? Let me tell you something about the Maple Room. It's at the end of a residential block. It's literally a lounge that makes beer and it distills. It is entirely too fucking loud in here.
Right.
But their vibe on a day like this, a 10.
It's just like, here's your beer. We don't care where you drink this.
We don't.
We literally don't care. Just like take your stuff and go.
I mean, and everyone's fucking chilling in the alley. The only thing it was missing, because at the other end of the alley is a movie theater and the Old Owen and Engine.
Yeah.
So that'd have been a great little, because I think a lot of people probably would have ended up there.
At Owen Engine. Yeah.
It was chill, man. I'm sitting up, having a can of Oktoberfest, chatting it up.
Yeah. With no Owen Engine, we made our way to Ludlow Liquors. Great burger.
Really?
And I think is it $10 or $11? It's a little small, but I'm really good.
I didn't even know they had food. I thought they did like pop-ups and shit. So.
No, they got food. Killer burger, great price, and serving it like pretty late into the night.
I like Ludlow. That's the old, fuck, I forget the name of it. But it's Ludlow now.
And huge outdoor space.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's a really good bar. Ludlow's a good bar.
Lederhosen and chilling out there. But
Nice.
Maplewood's Oktoberfest, couldn't buy cans, so they won't, not likely be in the lineup unless I see them at Binny's or something.
That's funny. I thought the can thing was on purpose, but they were out of the port.
I think so.
Yeah.
It was fine.
Yeah.
It was, I think we said it when we were drinking this, it was mid.
Yeah.
Like, it was,
Yeah, it was cool. Like, I'm not like, oh, this is rad. Oh, this is not good. It was right down the middle. It was fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But that was our solid weekend of Oktoberfest, and like that was the big weekend. I think everything was going down.
I was a little concerned because last year when we did the Oktoberfest thing, well, it was a mess, to say the least. But it was all on one day.
Yeah.
So I was concerned, how is this going to turn out over 2 days? Are we capable of handling ourselves for 2 days of fest? But it worked out.
Very good.
You
I was gonna try to get over to Old Irving on Sunday, just didn't happen.
Sometimes you get the beer, man. Sometimes the beer gets you, man.
But you kept going. You went New Glarus. You go up to New Glarus, or you?
No, I had that from a summer run.
Okay.
To I didn't go all the way up. I went to just the what do you call it? The Mars Cheese Castle.
Okay, but then you went over to this Guinness drone firework thing.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Guinness. They had kind of alluded to this happening, and I happened to see a drone show the week before at Navy Pier, and I was so impressed by this fucking drone thing. I didn't even know it was a thing. I was impressed by the scale. I was telling Brad, probably at Maplewood, when you think about the Ferris wheel at Navy Pier, these drones are actually putting on images that are like twice the size. They're dwarfing the fucking Ferris wheel. So,
Yeah.
If you hear there's a drone show, it's going to be a sight to see.
Right.
Yeah.
I think on the last episode we were saying we weren't invited to the friends and family. I guess we're not friends, but we were invited to the media event,
Yeah.
and we missed the invite.
Yeah, I think we just kind of overlooked it. Maybe one day we'll.
It came in like 5 hours before the day of.
That's a bit intense. It's a bit much.
Give me more than 1 day notice, please. If I would have saw it on Sunday.
Then you could have been like, "Yo, what's up?" And I could have been like, "Oh, well, shit.
Yeah.
Let's figure it out."
But seeing it Monday, we're not getting it Monday, but not seeing it till Wednesday was like, I'm not checking these that often.
Yeah. So we missed the preview, but Guinness Chicago opening a brewery is open.
Right.
And it looks like they got maybe 5 or so beers brewed here, along with the original stuff coming from Dublin and some options from Baltimore.
Which is surprising knowing how when Haymarket opened, they didn't have their own beer yet.
Yeah.
Because they got the license to open,
Oh,
and then they got the license to brew. So this means Guinness
you're right.
had the brewing license for a while
Haymarket had an awning.
and just weren't ready to open.
And Haymarket, I don't think was branded yet. And they had a neon in the window, but it was someone else's neon. It was neon for another brewery. So you didn't. If you knew it was opening, you knew that it was Haymarket. But
Okay.
you didn't know it was Haymarket.
But you had to know.
Right. I mean, we knew, not because
But if you didn't know,
You didn't know because there was no signs that said it was Haymarket.
so we hope to make it over to Guinness here soon and see what's up there.
Yeah, it looks like they got a full kitchen. They open at 8
Yeah.
because it's a bakery.
Oh.
Now, well, what is it? Middlebrow doesn't do this now. Now they open at like 11. But ever is a time when Middleborough opened at 8 a.m. 9
But why
a.m.
would you go to Middlebrow?
Because they got breakfast. They got their bakery. They do muffins and scones and cinnamon rolls and shit.
This place does it all: wine, beer,
They
cider.
they're not. I'm
pizza,
not gonna say they're
bread.
allergic. They do pizza. I'm not gonna say they're allergic to beer, but they talk about how beer. They can't drink it all the time because they feel bloated. So then they just start making wine. So now they're a winery.
But we make bread because bread doesn't make us bloated at all.
I don't think they sound like that. I had an ex. Every time she said something to somebody, I'm like, this is the same voice that you said your dad sounded like. I know this girl don't sound the same way. Oh, but the point is, if you could probably get a pint at like 8 a.m.
Oh, probably, maybe, yeah.
Because you could get fucking beer at Maplewood at
Middlebrow?
Middlebrow at 9 a.m.
Okay.
That was the point. Yeah.
Okay. There's some more.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Then the other stop you did make, which gets into our rumor we heard, you were at Salt Shed.
Yeah, man. I gotta be honest, it's probably my favorite fucking venue nowadays. It used to be House of Blues. House of Blues is my spot because there's 3 bars at House of Blues inside.
I guess I gotta go, but I was talking to someone just about Salt Shed. Logistically, it fucking sucks.
Dude.
There's no, I'm not gonna take a bus there, but there's no buses.
There is no bus because it's on Elston. There's no bus runs on Elston.
Right. There's no, the closest L would be Division.
Oh, shit, I didn't think about that. It's in a odd.
You could take the Division, you get on Division Blue Line, or Division, is it Red Line stop the other way?
You'd have to get off.
And then you take the Division bus.
Or Clybourne. You get off at
Oh yeah, Clybourne.
You get off at the Clybourne stop on the Red Line, which is the Apple Store basically. And walk across the river. You could do that.
That might be okay.
But
And
it's on Goose Island.
And then someone else was saying that like the last time the parking lot was gravel.
The parking lot is still gravel. And here's the thing.
And the road there's a train track down the middle of the road. It's terrible.
And you can't park in the nearest parking. There's a massive parking lot, but it's valet only. So you go to this thing. Now I got to find fucking street parking by Jack's Pumpkin pop up a block away because the nearest parking is going to cost me like $50. Right. Everyone around there wants $50 American dollars for you to fucking park. That part is bullshit.
Right.
Yeah.
This is like the logistic disaster. Build a parking garage.
They gotta
Just build
fix
a parking garage.
So, and I think the guys were saying at Maplewood that Salt Shed doesn't even own this parking that they're doing valet on.
Oh.
So the minute those developers decide something else goes up,
Then there's no parking.
Now there's no parking, and this place holds because the chef from Goose Island was out there.
Yeah.
He's like, this venue holds 4,500 on the inside and another 5,000 on the outside. So you're talking almost 10,000 people, and in Chicago and no parking.
Isn't that illegal?
That's bullshit. Yeah,
That feels illegal. Like
I'm calling the cops.
Because technically, like when they build some of these places, you're like, oh, why? Like you need some sort of like almost like a place for the water to go. And then you need a parking garage because you have to support the people that can go into these places.
I like how we turned into like this civic responsibility podcast all of a sudden.
As we're drinking beer.
And I'll tell you another thing.
How am I supposed to drive there and drink and then get home safely?
The laws are very clear on this shit. No, but
But they need an Elston bus.
something. Yeah. They did say, shout out to Goose, because they were there slinging smash burgers. And Goose Island's brewery is moving from Clybourne to Salt Shed. Salt Shed main entrance is a dead end right now. It stops at the river.
Okay.
The Goose guys are saying that the city's going to build a bridge to the other side. So they want to get traffic from the other side of the river because the fucking casino is going to be on the other side of the river.
Right. So then someone's like, okay, well, maybe we get a water taxi.
Yeah. Well, water taxi does open up your suburban market because it's at Ogilvy stop and a Chinatown stop, and it comes from.
Once the casino's there,
Yeah.
I think when the casino's there, you're gonna see a water taxi.
Yeah, because right now the closest water taxi goes up to North Ave.
Right.
But you can take a water taxi from Chinatown all the way up to North Ave, and actually, you haven't done that for $5. It's very.
I haven't done it, but it's not all year. It's not year round because
And it's like 40, it's like fucking 40
and
minutes.
it doesn't happen very often.
You have to smoke,
especially up that way.
No, it's not a frequent stop right now. And you have to smuggle beers on. They're not selling beers on the water.
Okay.
but it is very cool. Yeah, Salt Shed.
But you were drinking the collaboration between Run the Jewels?
Yeah, so this is the 10th anniversary. So we talked about the first 10th anniversary of Run the Jewels as a group.
Oh, sure.
But then the 10th anniversary of the beer they made with them, I believe. So
Did they brew it again then?
no, well, it's not the same beer. Remember, that was a hoppy wheat ale.
Oh, yeah.
And this was a golden ale.
Oh.
So if you're keeping score,
So it's Blackhawks Pale. Or no, it's
is it the White Sox beer?
rebranded?
Is the White Sox beer that was rebranded as the Blackhawks beer and now rebranded as Run the Jewels? Why does Goose have so many golden ales? Now,
The Blackhawks is a pale ale?
oh,
It's a
thank
pale
you,
ale?
thank you, Brad. Blackhawks is a pale ale. So the golden ales were Sox and this RTJ beer. And no one's gonna. It's not like Oktoberfest. We're not gonna do a fucking.
Side by side. And everyone's stoned at Run the Jewels, I'm sure. And they're like, yeah, we don't care.
Yeah.
Okay, just give me something.
Yeah. So, the can artwork at this thing's really cool. I love the cans. Oh, and then they run completely out. So, you know how Run the Jewels doing 4 nights there. So this night 1, RTJ 1, the album is only 33 minutes long.
Okay.
But RTJ does songs off the other albums. So RTJ's set runs 90 minutes plus an hour for one of their DJs.
Oh.
So I'm like, well, shit, I'm going to go get another one of these beers and I'm going to get a shot. And they're like, we sold out of the beers. But they did have the City Water,
Well, okay.
which is another RTJ collab.
What are they doing for the other nights? What'd they do?
I don't know. Well, this was night 1.
But did they have more beer? Or was that like, that's all we got?
These fuckers drank up all the beer. Yeah, they drank up all the RTJ beer. There's other beers. They drank all the RTJ collab beer.
Funny.
Yeah.
Which, like, goes into this rumor we were hearing because Salt Shed is basically going to print money for Goose Island.
I mean,
Right?
yeah.
You could sell the same beer and just slap the band's logo on it or
Every
just
single
call
time.
it this, or you just make a new beer and call it like Backstage or whatever.
They are going to crush it. This is the official brewery of basically the newest neighborhood in Chicago that includes a fairgrounds, a Salt Shed, a music fairgrounds, and a fucking casino. And a new fucking water taxi stop. They're gonna kill it.
Right. It's basically being the only beer at the United Center. Like, you really have no other option, and this is all you have.
Yeah. Now, when you walk into Salt Shed, they do have what they call a beer cave. And in the beer cave, I'm like, well, where's the Goose beer? They're like, oh, you gotta get that inside.
Oh.
But on the outside, they're selling I would say maybe a cooler with like maybe 7 or 8 beers.
Okay.
Your usual
Other
suspects.
craft, like
Maplewood, Dovetail.
half acre.
$14 each, by the way.
Okay.
You want a 4.2% Hellas from Dovetail, you need $14
That's almost what it is.
at the size game.
Anywhere.
Or any music venue, that's true. Yeah.
That's what Lone Wolf's charging.
Yeah. But yeah, but inside though, it's mostly booze and pretty much just a good
Right.
shit.
Okay. So this gets into this crazy rumor that we heard over one of our Oktoberfest
Yeah.
days,
Yeah.
stops, that AB has sold / probably sold, since the wording was given, Goose Island back to the halls, but they would have had to sell it, but cheaply AB has gotten rid of Goose Island.
We heard this. This is factually happened with one of the Constellation brands. The guys who I can't tell you which brewery offhand. We'll say it next week if it matters. One of those guys, Constellation Brands, sold them back their brewery
Okay.
because they were being interviewed on like the Brew Round Pod. Like, hey, what's it like to get your fucking brewery back? Because they sold to Constellation, and then and a couple years later, Constellation said you can buy it back if you want.
Okay.
So this sounds a little similar to something that happened with Constellation,
Right.
where Goose is, if you listen to the rumor, Goose is going back to the Hall family. Now John Hall, God bless him.
It's like 800 years old.
He's like 80 years old.
100.
And Greg Hall, the creator of Bourbon County Stout, is his son.
He said he never wanted to run Goose Island.
I don't understand. And me and Brad talked about this. If you look at the Bell's Brewery, hierarchy, or whatever it
Yeah.
is, we pass it down succession. Larry Bell wanted to pass it down to his daughter, but his daughter had no interest in it. I think she was more into cider than beer. So then Larry Brown ended up selling the fucking New Belgium or whoever he sold to.
Right. Get into why this is like kind of ridiculous in a sec, but one reason that I could see this happening was maybe AB wants to get rid of Goose Island.
Well, they just got rid of 8 brands.
So word got out that they were going to sell it to Nik Capital.
Oh.
And your venture capital, you're just going to rip it apart for pieces and be like, okay, we're Bourbon County. That seems like the only beer you need to make. That's all you're going to make. We're going to sell all these other things. And it was just become a piecemeal of things. Be like, shutting down the salt shed. We're shutting down all the everything else. You're just going to make Bourbon County or whatever. Whatever would happen. We're going to sell everything else. Greg Hall, well, John Hall wants this like legacy, kind of like he's still alive. He doesn't want to see like this thing he built be ripped apart for pieces, right? So there could have been like, he heard about it. Maybe he was able to take some of that money that he got from them and be like, well, I have more now because I invested it, and you just want to sell it back to me cheaper than.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then let's be real. You can if you're a John Hall, you can take a loan out, and the banks will say, you know what, John Hall, you sir are good money. How much do you want? So he's got access to buy this thing back.
So sure, but then why this is ridiculous? Goose Island is the biggest of all the AB craft brands,
Probably
right?
the most successful that they acquired for
Right.
sure.
Sure, we know beer is not doing as well as it was, and AB seems to be leaning into a lot of the non-alcoholic, low-calorie things. Like, speaking of that, where was the low-cal at Goose Island? Remember that one?
Oh, I do. It was
Solo?
like-
Solo.
What was it called? Solo? I know
That
you're
was
talking
good.
about.
I like Solo.
It was good. It had a nice hoppiness.
Having a Solo.
Had a nice little hoppy bite.
Yeah.
Uncle Dave Totes. I
like
he
Solo.
was pouring it.
But anyway, off topic. So AB seems to be leaning into these non-alcoholic and I don't know, just like low-calorie beers because that's where the market kind of is. Because you can charge the same price for a cheaper product, really, right?
Less expensive, yeah. Ingredients are cheaper, yeah.
Goose Island is so big; they have brew pubs in China, in London. If you're the Halls and you take this back over, it's now this massive brand that you don't know how to manage. You got to bring either a whole bunch of people in, and is AB getting rid of it because they're like, we don't think this is making money, so then, or do you just fire a bunch of stuff and like bring it back to Chicago?
It's in all 50 states. It's a global brand. Their top-selling beers are made at AB facilities.
Right.
The IPA, as much as we probably don't drink these beers, we're more likely to drink 312
Yeah, like I
than
think
the IPA.
last year I said I drank 312 more than any other beer
So
all year.
Their top beers, 312 and IPA, are not even made at Goose, right? So this is a real. If this is true, most of what makes you lucrative is made at AB. So you're gonna be basically contract brewing most of your brands.
Right, or do you scale it all back and
No, I don't think you do
take
that.
over Great Central?
Now you can brew everything. Oh shit. Goose is probably buying Great Central if this is true. Goose buys Great Central and then they truly divest from AB, become fully independent,
Ramp up.
and keep their footprint. They keep the current footprint that AB was doing. That would be the play, if this is true.
It seems ridiculous.
It seems far fetched, but my thought when we heard this rumor, my initial thought was, man, that's out of bounds. But what if, because the original AB sale from Goose was the pubs.
Okay.
So the pubs were left out. Anheuser-Busch bought Goose Island, but the pubs were still
For
independent.
like the first 2 years. kinda.
Exactly. So my thought was, well, maybe what they're meaning is that the family will control the pubs again. So you'll control Clybourne or Salt Shed.
And London and Shanghai and I think there's a Beijing one.
Well, those pubs weren't in play when they sold, but those would be the pubs, yeah. So I couldn't wrap my head around why they would sell them back. But I thought maybe if they do sell it back, maybe it's just the pubs.
I don't know. What's the dude that wrote the book?
This book right here,
No, not that book. The
Grit and Grain.
No, the Goose history book that is uninvited from Goose events.
Oh yeah. He used to work for the Trip.
Yeah.
Josh Knoll.
Man, he'd have to do an updated book if this happens.
If they sell back,
Yeah.
Bourbon County Stout, and yeah, because he wrote about them selling, so it would be. Yeah. I'm curious to see where this goes. What I do like about Goose, man, is that they're always making moves. You know, whether they're killing the sisters or rebranding Matilda or collaborating with breweries that are newer breweries or moving the salt shed.
Right.
They're always doing stuff that that keeps me interested in them as a crew.
Yeah, I guess,
Yeah.
but we did say that 312 Block Party beer hugs seem. I don't even know if you could buy a beer hugs beer.
That day.
Maybe over in the beer hugs section, but they didn't have it in the like lineup of everything.
Yeah, when you first walk in and buy your tokens, there's a ton of beers you can purchase. I don't think Beer Hugs was one of them.
Not there, maybe over there, but beer hugs seems like I said, thing that didn't work.
Volume wise, Beer Hugs is a big beer for them.
But it's not. I think
it's their for when it debuted. I think it's their brand.
right. But we talked about this. I think we talked about this on an episode, or maybe just us bullshitting. Beer Hugs makes no sense in Goose Island brand. It's a bear. They are a goose. This is a AB beer that Goose. It's under the Goose umbrella.
But you're right. I think the problem, and Steve brought it up. He's like, well, isn't there already a Big Hugs? And we were saying you can have all the hugs, you just can't have the big one.
Right.
Right. So I wonder what conversation, if any, that Goose had with Half Acre around this idea of having a line extension with a bunch of hugs in it.
Right. You just can't. Maybe they're like, you can't do a stout hugs.
You can't do a stout and you can't do a big. You can do any other hug. It can't be big, and none of your hugs can be a stout.
Right.
Yeah. These beers. One year we were saying this on a previous episode. There was a year where you would go to Goose Island, Fulton, the tap room, and for some reason they'd have 7 IPAs on tap. But they spent a lot of time, kind of formulating these beers with the whole idea of scaling them up.
Okay, that's
true. So they can go to AB. So, but if you put that, if that's your 3-year plan, you're not cutting it off at year 2. You're not cutting it off at year 4. You're gonna see this all the way through because you've already spent 2 years developing. So that's why we're seeing Beer Hug kind of be on billboards and shit and be pushed as much as it is and it has its own installation. 312. Think about this. 312 Block Party didn't have a 312 installation where it was just like a little 312 village. 312 Block Party had a Big Hugs section. Right. So it's like they
didn't even have 312 lemonade. I was in the suburbs over the weekend. I had a 312 lemonade.
Yeah. So I don't think Big Hugs.
Where's the 312 flavors?
At 312 Block Party.
Right.
I don't think Big Hugs is going anywhere.
For beer hugs.
I don't think Beer Hugs is going anywhere.
But 312 flavors are gone.
Yeah, or they're just not, or they're regulated to
the summer.
They're regulated
hard days of summer.
And 312 day.
Right. Oh, so not even summer. Like St. Patrick's. They're regulated to St. Patrick's Day. That's the problem with 312 Black Party is it doesn't happen anywhere near
312 day.
312 day.
And if you're a fan of 312 the beer, you'll have a hard time finding that beer, right? Did we see 312 at 312 Black Party?
Yeah.
It was there?
Yeah, it was by the October. It was in the train car, October, because I saw the tap handle.
Yeah. So, fucking Goose. This is better than I mean, they're still an interesting story. For them to be the oldest brewery in town, they're still an interesting story, and I tip my hat to that.
I don't even this was the most ridiculous rumor that I feel like I go. That is so far-fetched that can't be true, and then at times I'm like, could make sense, but there's no way. No, it doesn't. It seems it's too big now.
Tell me if you remember this, man. John Hall, I can remember this. Because, we don't write shit down, but I don't feel like I make shit up. I feel like people say shit, and I'm like, all right, so this is what I heard. They were saying, like, yo, it's always been my dream to have a brewery on Goose Island, and we all get back together, and we just start making beers again. That's always what John Hall wanted to do. So with this that you brought up, this Great Central thing in play, and the Salt Shed thing in play, would it surprise me if AB said, take your brewery back, and John Hall said, this is how much I'm offering, and AB says, fuck it, here you go. Would that surprise me? No, that would not surprise me.
But then they keep making 312 and IPA around the country.
You're gonna have to revisit your footprint, but if you occupy,
Probably revisit you scale back,
yeah,
right? Because
we don't know the numbers. That's a problem with this them being owned by AB. We don't know the numbers.
is someone in Washington being like, yeah, let me get that beer from Chicago.
Does everybody need Bourbon County? Does all 9 states, 20 states? It's probably in all 50 states. Does 50 states need Bourbon County at this point?
Probably not.
No.
You scale it back. You pull back hard.
One more note.
Midwest.
One more note about this Goose thing, man. They didn't buy Salt Shed, the space that they're brewing in.
Okay.
They're leasing it.
Leasing it.
Yeah, it's easier. It's less overhead up front if you just lease the space.
But they didn't even own Claiborne. They leased
Well,
that.
remember, I thought that was problematic because every 4 years it was like, oh,
We're closing
forever. It's bye forever.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, if you go to Salt Shed, maybe you bought it, but no.
Is Salt Shed Man, we're kind of long on this. Is the Salt Shed Goose Island going to be open for food when a band is not playing, like
Well,
the Claiborne pub is?
It's room for 300 people, and
Okay. So you could just go there on a Tuesday afternoon.
winter launch. Yeah, because it's you been to Salt Shed? It's the so you enter and it's a cul-de-sac. You enter Salt Shed and the block ends at the river. And there's this little building right where it ends. That's Goose Island. And then there's this massive structure where the Salt Shed is.
Because we were told by running Mike Jacobs, brewmaster,
Pub brewmaster.
head brewer, end of October is the date that they're done, right?
Yeah.
Or
okay.
that's the supposed date of the end of Claiborne.
Yeah. I missed
Are
it.
we
but
breaking two newses? The sale the rumor of the sale and the Claiborne pub is really shutting down end of October.
And the reason I bring up this leasing shit is because the building that Old Irving is in used to be the old Goose Barrel Warehouse, and the leasing agreement was up, and they just didn't lease it to Goose. They leased it to someone else who was going to pay more, right? Wasn't that the scenario?
Yeah.
So it's like you're doing all this leasing shit and not buying anything, and it's probably out of your control. But it's interesting that everything's being leased.
Right. And that they're moving all the equipment from Claiborne and hooking it back up at Salt Shed.
Yeah. Again, down the wormhole. These fucking guys.
People tell us things while drinking. We attempt to remember what was told to us.
Yeah. And then we try to.
Rumors become, misinformation at some point. I don't know.
But I will say this, and that's what I like about the show. It's an opportunity. Us saying all this stuff is an opportunity to invite people who heard it and know that it's not accurate to fucking tell us so we can know. It's an opportunity to have a different conversation. So if me and you don't say it, no one else is going to move the conversation forward. You know what I mean? No one else is going to hop in and say, this part was right, this part was way off. But us saying it is important because we're going to see people and they're going to be like, yeah, that was kind of off. But this is what I know.
Unless someone's like, you weren't supposed to know that. We're not inviting you to Bourbon County Day now.
Or that. Yeah. But yeah, I'm rooting for them.
We heard this from Goose Island people.
Oh,
Just to like be clear, we did not hear this at 312 Day from anyone there.
I think this would be referred to as wildly speculating. We have no fucking idea what's going on.
Yeah. I did say while we were having an Oktoberfest, so you can. I only have one. We had many other things at 312 Day. So
let's root. I'm rooting for the scenario where if AB sells Goose, they sell it back to John, and then they fucking buy Great Central and they just start brewing all the stuff here again. I think that'd be a very cool way to end it.
End or start a new chapter.
Right. Like just bring it all full circle.
Okay. So I said we had these awards. We'll save those for next time because our steins are empty.
Yeah, seven. There are 7 wins. 7 Illinois wins.
We'll talk about it next time.
Okay.
There was no.
Only one in Chicago proper.
Yeah,
That was Horse Thief Hollow. So 1 Chicago win and 6 Illinois wins.
There was no one I was super excited for, so we'll see.
Oh, gee. Oh, wow. We love all Chicagoland breweries. You know, let's be clear. We support. We drink all. It's pretty much exclusively Chicagoland beer. So
Yeah.
So there's that.
None of my heroes won. I didn't see that.
I'm trying to get out of it, and Brad fucking doubles down. We drink all Chicagoland beer.
All right, let's get out of here. I think we may take it easy this weekend. Beguile's coming up, but Nick, where can people find you? Get in touch.
Hey man, I'm on Twitter at Nicosio.
And I'm around. I'm not really on Twitter anymore. I don't know. I'm around. Look for me somewhere. Chicago Beer Pass, chicagobeerpass.com. And episodes are going up. Should be weekly. Feed's working. Take care.
Cheers.